Metallica's Kirk Hammett just released the single High Plains Drifter from his upcoming first ever solo EP Portals. And it actually happens to be exactly what I would imagine a Kirk Hammett solo project to be. The track kicks in with the main theme of the song, which from the very first notes I had this very strong feeling in my head that I heard somewhere. In fact, it bugged me so much that the first time I listened to High Plains Drifter, I couldn't really concentrate on the music itself, and all I could concentrate on was just how familiar this sounds to me. And of course I already knew the Iron Maiden song, which it, reminded me of, and when I showed it to my wife, she simply said that I'm delusional and have no ears. But I guess we'll talk about this towards the end of the episode. The song High Plains Drifter was originally written by Kirk Hammett as a 2.5-minute flamenco piece, which he already knew from the very start would be way too hard to integrate into anything Metallica would do.
Do you want heavy? Metallica gives you heavy, baby!
And of course, neither of us would associate Kirk Hammett with flamenco music, and this, I believe, is one of the coolest things about this piece, is that it shows the new sides of Kirk Hammett's playing techniques, the ones that I would never, assume he would go into at any point in his career. But anyways, the intro theme then quickly grows into a mild orchestral piece, which has this very strong Ennio Morricone vibe, yet doesn't mimic the ecstasy of gold exactly. In fact, when listening to it properly, I actually caught myself thinking that it would make a pretty good interlude piece for Metallica's S&M 2 concert. Yet, in my personal opinion, orchestral would not be the right adjective to describe this piece, and if I would have to describe it with just one word, a cinematic would definitely be the one. For right after the intro, the track starts evoking this very strong 60s and 70s Western movie vibe, which of course is the purpose, given it's dedicated to one. And yet what I like about Kirk's piece is that with this song, he didn't fall into the temptation of mimicking the main theme of the movie soundtrack itself, and managed to create the same feelings by producing something of his own. In addition, High Plains Drifter is supposedly going to be the only song on this EP which will feature vocals, and I gotta say that the vocalist Elizabeth Bag actually did an amazing job on working together in synergy with the instruments without, dragging too much attention on the vocals itself. After a short yet heavy culmination towards the end of the song, which by the way, aside from Ennio Morricone's resemblance, would be the only thing which would actually, remind you that this piece is actually written by a Metallica guitarist, High Plains Drifter once again repeats the opening theme of the track, which once again made me realize how much it reminded me of an Iron Maiden song, which by the way was also based on literary work later turned into a movie. Okay, I know that you most likely will say exactly the same thing as my wife did, that I am simply delusional, but the truth is, if it has evoked such strong feelings in my head from the very first listen, I knew that there has to be something about it. And the thing is, once you remove the arpeggios from Tame, it becomes a little bit more apparent. So that's what I did. Of course, since my country is at war right now and I'm spending my days in the western part of Ukraine without any of my instruments, which are left home in Kyiv, I had to do it on Guitar Pro, with the real reason of doing it being me actually wanting to do anything music related during these crazy times. But anyways, all we had to do here was to remove the arpeggios, add a couple of bars of repetition in the beginning, and the Tame land turns into this. And by the way, while I still think that many of you will disagree with me, for those who do, I just wanted to say that in no way I wanted to say that Kirk Hammett in any way took a theme from Tame and used it in his song. Not at all. Even if those two themes sound alike to you like they do to myself, of course that was done as a pure coincidence. And in any case, Kirk Hammett has produced a great cinematic piece, which in my personal opinion, this increases the interest to what else he has to offer on Portals, which by the way will come out in about a week. What I also hope will happen in about a week is us returning to making heavy metal videos on a regular basis on this channel, and for me to return home to my town of Kyiv, Ukraine. And by saying that, I just wanted to once again thank everyone for supporting Ukraine, standing with me, sticking with this channel, you know, despite us not producing proper heavy metal videos in the past month and a half. And those of you who were able to support Ukraine financially by purchasing Metal Pilgrim merch, or just donating money, or just simply watching these videos till the very end. Once again, wanted to say that the main priority for me personally right now remains the volunteer work for my country, for the army, and of course 100% of the profits which I received from the Metal Pilgrim merch, especially on Bonfire, for which the campaign by the way ends tonight, so if you wanted to purchase one, this is your last chance. We might resume this design at some point in the future, but I'm not exactly sure about that yet. So yeah, of course 100% of those profits will be going towards the defense efforts for my country of Ukraine. Thank you guys so much for watching this short video. It was a pleasure to go back into, you know, being nerd about heavy metal. We will prevail. Slava Ukraini!